Imagine being born into a world where the moment you open your eyes, you're immediately judged, mislabeled, and destined to suffer through an endless parade of indignities. Welcome to life as a goat, a life far less glamorous than the rustic charm that movies might suggest, and filled with everyday absurdities that would make even the most stoic philosopher roll their eyes in disbelief. I'm here to take you on a journey into the not-so-rosy existence of goats, revealing in all its satirical glory why it truly sucks to be born as a goat. From the moment you come into this world, yes, even before you manage to stand on those wobbly legs, there's an inescapable fate awaiting you, a life defined by stubbornness, misfortune, and the endless struggle for recognition. Not only are you forced to navigate a harsh, arid landscape where water is scarce and predators lurk, but you're also burdened with a reputation that's as old as time. Society expects you to be a walking emblem of stubborn resilience, a mountain goat that climbs impossibly steep slopes without a second thought. But what if the reality is far less majestic and infinitely more exhausting? From the very moment you're born, you're not welcomed with applause and adoration, but with a collective shrug as if to say, "Oh, another goat." Imagine a tiny, bleary-eyed baby goat, its coat still patchy and unkempt, emerging into a world where survival is the only currency. No lullabies, no warm blankets, just a rugged, uninviting landscape that immediately forces you to scramble for your mother's protective nuzzle. In those first moments, you're bombarded with expectations. You're supposed to be cute, but also resilient, adorable, but ready to fend for yourself. And if that isn't enough, you're expected to adopt the stereotypical goat stare, a look of eternal defiance and existential resignation that has become your trademark. As you take your first uncertain steps, you quickly learn that every misstep is magnified. That awkward wobble. It becomes a lifelong reminder that unlike those sleek, graceful animals that other species might boast about, you are destined to be clumsy. The other goat kids might prance around with effortless ease, but you're that one goat whose falls are so spectacular that even the herd can't help but snicker. And as if the physical clumsiness weren't humiliating enough, you soon discover that every tiny mishap is captured on camera by those relentless farmers and zookeepers, your most embarrassing moments destined for eternal replay on the internet. Growing up, you quickly realize that individuality is a luxury not afforded to you in the goat world. To the untrained human eye, you are just a goat, a generic bleating creature with nothing unique to set you apart. The irony is staggering. You, with your quirky personality, deep, soulful eyes, and a penchant for mischief, are forever consigned to the same broad category as every other goat in the herd. And here's the kicker. Despite your best efforts to distinguish yourself, humans still confuse you. They call you by names that make no sense. "Oh, look at that goat," they exclaim. But sometimes, in a bizarre twist of absurdity, they shout, "That's not a goat, that's a hen." Yes, a hen. Imagine strutting around with your signature bleat and distinctive horns, only to have someone mistake you for a clucking, feathered farm animal. And as if that weren't enough, whenever you're a baby, an adorable, fuzzy little kid, they're quick to label you as a baby hen. It's an identity crisis of epic proportions. You're a goat, born to be wild and free, yet the world insists on comparing you to a barnyard fowl. The confusion is maddening, a constant slap in the face every time you try to assert your true goatness. Life as a goat isn't all clambering over rocks and grazing under the relentless sun. No, it's a daily struggle filled with indignities that never cease to mock you. Imagine the diet you're forced to endure, not the gourmet delicacies of exotic foliage, but a monotonous menu of dry, fibrous grasses and sparse, bitter shrubs that barely provide the nourishment you need. Each meal is a reminder that while other animals might feast on an abundant spread, you're stuck with the same tasteless fare day after day. And when the food isn't satisfying, well, you're often left with nothing but the gnawing emptiness that no amount of chewing can fill. Then there's the constant physical labor. As a goat, you're expected to scale steep cliffs and traverse rugged terrain as if it's all in a day's work, when in reality, each climb is a battle against gravity, each leap a potential disaster. Your hooves, designed for rough terrain, are no match for the unyielding forces of nature, and more often than not, you end up slipping, tumbling, and landing in a heap of dirt and bruised pride. It's a relentless cycle of effort and humiliation that leaves you wondering if the struggle is truly worth it. Privacy is a concept as foreign to you as the idea of a luxury spa day. In the goat world, you're never alone. You're constantly surrounded by a noisy herd that treats every moment as a public performance. Want to nap in peace on a sunlit rock? Too bad. The entire herd is there, bleating and bumping into you, ensuring there's no escape from their ceaseless chatter. Even when you manage to find a moment of solitude, humans are there, snapping photos and treating you like a living exhibit in a never-ending zoo. They crowd around with their smartphones, capturing every awkward step and every clumsy fall, turning your private misfortunes into public spectacle. And the irony doesn't end there. In this digital age, your every misadventure is immortalized on the internet. That time you slipped on a rock? Viral meme material. Your signature bleat when it comes out as a cry of frustration, shared in countless reaction videos. Instead of being admired as a resilient, independent creature, you're reduced to a punchline, a series of looping videos that people share with gleeful laughter. Your struggle for privacy, your fight to be seen as an individual, is thwarted by the relentless, unfeeling gaze of the online world. Perhaps the most absurd and infuriating aspect of being a goat is the constant confusion over your identity. Despite your distinctive features, the elegant curve of your horns, the glint in your eyes, and your robust, agile frame, humans simply can't seem to tell you apart from, well, other animals. In an endless loop of mistaken identity, you find yourself being called a goat one moment and, in a twist of ridiculous logic, a hen the next. Yes, a hen. Imagine prancing around in all your goat glory, only to be mistaken for a clucking, feathered fowl. And as if that weren't enough, when you're a baby, your cuteness is overshadowed by the label baby hen, a comparison that reduces your majestic lineage to that of a common barnyard bird. This constant misidentification not only bruises your ego, but also strips away your individuality, as if no matter how hard you try, you'll always be seen as just another faceless animal in a chaotic mix-up of species. And finally, we arrive at the cruelest twist of all, the transformation of your life into an endless stream of viral content. In today's digital landscape, your every moment is fodder for internet memes, GIFs, and reaction videos. 1 minute you're strutting along the rocky terrain of the desert, and the next, you're the star of a 30-second clip that leaves millions laughing at your expense. Your failures, your missteps, your very existence is distilled into a series of looping videos that mock your every effort. Even when you try to muster an air of dignified resilience, the digital world twists it into a punchline, a never-ending cycle of public humiliation that never gives you a moment's respite. Despite all these relentless challenges, endless misidentifications, an unappetizing diet, a life without privacy, and the relentless glare of the online world, you trudge on. You embody survival, a testament to the enduring, albeit ironic spirit of the goat. And perhaps that in itself is a bittersweet victory. You may never escape the mockery, but in your silent defiance lies a profound lesson. that even in a life destined to be reduced to a series of laughable memes and mistaken identities, the struggle to exist is a story worth telling. So here's to you, the misunderstood goat, forever caught between the harsh realities of nature and the absurd expectations of the world. It sucks to be born as a goat indeed, but every stubborn bleat and every clumsy leap is a defiant cry against the injustices of fate. And maybe, just maybe, in our shared misery, we find a strange, resilient kind of glory.